think they need to keep the relationship. And if that means doing Forbidden Door, sure. But with with WWE showing that they're willing to work with a number of different companies, whether that is in Japan, whether that is Impact, TNA, whatever we're calling it these days. Like if you drop your affiliation and don't have that working relationship with New Japan, Hunter's going to move right in. Like Hunter's going to set something up with New Japan, and he is going to take that ball and run with it. So I think they need to keep doing Forbidden Door if that's what New Japan Pro Wrestling wants, because I think they need to keep that relationship going to help continue building what they want to do on a worldwide scale.
I think the concept is damn near dead for Forbidden Door. The Forbidden Door concept, Gabe, is, oh my God, I can't believe that this person's in the company. You know who does Forbidden Door well? WWE. Just from that TNA NXT experiment. Like, even though it's a small scale, it's the third company or the third brand for WWE, just the idea that we get all ego Ethan Page just to step through those doors, it's like, oh, wow, didn't expect to see that, right? Just to see Jordan Grace in NXT, like, okay, no one's watching TNA. We understand that, from a United States standpoint, but the point is people know who Jordan Grace is. Strong, the TNA knockout.
Has
champion.
The look, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, has everything. On the other side, this actually interrupts the flow of what AEW is doing. It's I don't mind the concept, but is it really a Forbidden Door if Okada's already there?
Right.
That's the thing.
Okada's there. Jay White's there. Ospreay's there. Like
the mistake they made, the mistake they made this year is adding CMLL to it. Like that was not necessary. I just don't think it was completely necessary to have the CMLL aspect of what Forbidden Door is going to be. Yeah. But I think you need to keep the working relationship just because, again, I think it's great for them. And I think it's great for New Japan to have Jon Moxley showing up in the United States, with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship around his shoulder, right? Or the different times that we've seen the United States champion be in AEW. Like, I think that working relationship works. Maybe you don't need the pay-per-view around it anymore, and you just know that door's open. Because again, that's the part of Forbidden Door that initially worked when the phrase was coined was you didn't know when it was coming. But now when I know when Forbidden Door is coming and I know all these New Japan guys are going to be coming through, like it loses its luster. But again, we know this pay-per-view is going to deliver. Like Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy is going to be a lot of fun. Like you're going to be getting some good matchups, but you can just randomly do these different matchups and have Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. could show up for Wrestle Dream, right? Like he could show up at the beginning of the fall for Wrestle Dream for a one-off match, and it doesn't have to be completely built around this idea of AEW wrestlers going up against New Japan or CMLL talent.
No, but Brian, it's become the portal. That's what this has become. Yeah. It is. It's just like it's not Forbidden Door. It's just a door that's open for CMLL and AAA or whomever or New Japan that's coming in. See, the thing is that you want to have this where fans are like, oh my God, I cannot believe that Zack Sabre Jr. is here. But he's always around every now and then.
Like he just randomly pops up on rampages.
It's not special. And by the way,
you're watching too.
Well, it's not my taste though, Gabe. It's what it is that it's for the audience. It's like when these guys come down, I was watching Collision, and here comes Ultimo Dragon or something like that against Okada, right? Yeah. And it's kind of like, but zero reaction.
Right.
Like, well, who is this guy? Who's this mask guy? Who's this guy from the UK? Like, they don't know.
Who apparently doesn't usually wrestle with the mask, and they made him wrestle with the mask, which is why that ended up being so awkward at the end of it.
But the thing is, if you're telling a story and you bring all these guys in that people don't know, I mean, I understand that AEW is, again, an acquired taste. But the point is that if you have a Forbidden Door, it has to be like, oh, my God. I think WWE did a better job with it just when two people than what Tony Khan has done, bringing a slew of wrestlers that the audience doesn't know.
Yeah, but I think they did a good job the first time. I was looking at the card the first time around. Like the main event was Mox versus Tanahashi, which at the moment, it wasn't a good match, but I'm sure it meant a lot for Mox. Jay White, Hangman, Okada, Adam Cole. Like that's something we could have never expected. Claudio versus Zack Sabre Jr., Ospreay versus Orange. Like that made sense. But now that everyone's there, like this should just be a Dynamite or a, hey, we have 3 hours. How about a Battle of the Belts? Like, it doesn't need to be a pay-per-view.
Yeah, because those guys, and again, like Zack Sabre Jr. showed up at a couple of different events at this time.
Right.
So maybe from that aspect, you don't need this pay-per-view, but I do think it is important to maintain the relationship. Like, because again, the second you drop the relationship, now you've got WWE working with some of the other bigger companies, and I feel that puts you on more of an island and not in a great spot.
But are there even at this point, like, New Japan is sort of watered down? Like, if you're AEW, who are you missing out if you don't have a relationship with them?
You have CMLL, you got New Japan wrestlers coming in taking up TV time when you got 50 wrestlers, men and women in the back that are not over and not wrestling.
Right. And like looking at the card, the top 2 matches Sunday, Swerve versus Ospreay and the TNT ladder match, are all only AEW guys, which means you don't really need Forbidden Door.
And so what is Wrestle Dream? Isn't it kind of similar? So you got 2 of these.
Right.